plug. So in plug, as you can see here, this is the 1 minute chart again. And this was, oh, sorry, moved a little bit too much. So this trade was more of a 5 minute. What I was doing was I was playing a bit of a continuation here. And what happened was, you can see this level, this VPOC level here. And what I did was this appeared to be trending up, and almost, as you can see, this move here almost into an ascending triangle. And I thought that I would play this for the break of this this level that seemed to be forming here. So I went long here at 64. What is this? Around 64.55, and it did break above. This is pre-market high, but then immediately turned around and stopped. I stopped out here for, I think, a 0.5 R loss. And then, and this was where you can see the time. This trade was at around 9:57. So I was already starting to get a little nervous in getting into this trade, because I had to get on this Zoom call at 10 a.m. for my daughter. And actually, this loss, even though it was only a 0.5 R loss, oh no, I'm sorry, this was actually the full R loss, because I was going to, if it broke this VPOC line, I was going to get out of the trade and see if I could re-enter. And unfortunately, I did take a full R loss here, because I went to get on my daughter's call, and unfortunately it turned on me, and that was a full R loss. And I got a little bit flustered at that point. And unfortunately, and this is a bit of a habit I've broken for the most part, but it comes up every once in a while. I ended up reversing what I thought was going to happen here, and I went short, because I thought, oh, this is going to break this bottom level here, which in hindsight, as you can see, really was not a smart trade. There was no volume to support this. I went short, ended up with a 0.5 R loss here. That was just, there really is no reason to be in that trade at all. And especially on plug, anyone that, this is a ticker that I've traded often, and I have gotten chopped up on this stock many a time. So I knew right away that this was going to probably be a range that it was going to stick in potentially for a while. So after this second trade, I turned my attention somewhere else, because I knew that I could probably get in trouble if I got hyper focused on this stock, as I have in the past. So anyways, so that was a red trade. After that, I saw an opportunity on BlackBerry. Now as I think back, I don't actually recall if this was on my watch list. Let me just double check. And it actually wasn't. This was a ticker that I added just before the open, because they were talking about it in the chat room, and it had a really great move the last 2 days on solid news, and I definitely thought there was an opportunity here. So I added it to my watch list after the fact. So as I was scanning, after I stopped looking at plug and I was scanning for potential opportunities, I turned my attention to BlackBerry. Now, if you look here, I don't know if you follow my mouse pointer here on the 5-minute chart, bottom left here, there was a strong move up. Some of the traders in the chat room I'm part of definitely got some good profit off this move up initially at the open. But then you can see that it pulled back all the way down past Oh, it didn't quite, but it almost touched the low of the day, and then it went all the way back up and looked like it was trading really strong here at around 10:15. You can see this big 5 minute candle here. So I was watching this for a potential scalp, reversal scalp. And so here at around 11:10, now let's take a look here at the 1 minute. So I was watching both the 1 and 5 minute. And on the 5 minute chart here, you can see it put an upside down hammer, not a super strong one, but it put this pattern, which I call tweezers. And I had an early entry on this initial hammer. You can see here, I tried to play the break below this hammer, and this, sorry, I know this is probably, I just realized this is probably very difficult for you to see. So here, I tried to get in at the break below this hammer, which now, as I talk about it, really doesn't make much sense since this trade was still in this hammer. But anyways, clearly I got in a little early, and it did open below and push down, but then it pushed back up, and as it broke back above this hammer here, I got out to see if it would set up again, and it made this second tweezer here. And as it was doing that, I thought, this would be a good opportunity to get in. So here, let's look at the 1 minute chart. And you can see here, what I did is, after there was this wick above, when this candle started to go red, I was going to play the break below this green candle here. And as you can see, I got in a little bit early once again, but the move did work for me. And just, oh, wrong way. So as you can see, I got an initial partial. I got initial partial here, which I believe, oh, sorry. So this was, I remember this exactly. This was I had a 5 cent stop here. So I got in at 11:51 with a tight stop, 5 cent stop at 11:56. And this dipped, as you can see, and 1R here would have been 11:46. And unfortunately, I got a bit of a bad fill. And instead of getting at 11:46, this is 11:48. That was my first partial. So I held and I waited a bit for my second one, and I took this one. The 2R for this particular trade would have been 11:40, but I waited a little bit, and I got it at just below, I think. Well, it says 11:40 here. I thought it was 11:39, but I got out of 50% of my position here at this at 2R. And then it continued to sell off a bit, and I got another partial here. And after this partial, again, I was down to about 10% of my position, and I thought I would see if it would break below and run below this 50 SMA. Unfortunately, sorry, I'm just moving over here. It actually did, but I should have realized that it would come there was a strong chance it would come all the way back to me if after throwing this hammer here with on decent volume. But because it went down, I held it, and unfortunately, it came all the way back to break even. But I'd already gotten the majority of the move there. This particular trade was, again, just under a 2R trade. So I was pretty happy about that. Now, this was my 6th trade of the day. So at this point, I can tell you, because I went and I looked at my P&L, I was flat for the day. So had I stopped there, had I followed my rules and stopped there, I would have been flat and would have only lost commissions. I think at the time My commissions were probably around $7 or $8, and I would have been completely fine with that day. Um, there's nothing wrong with that. And at this point, most of my initial setups, or my trade book, sorry, what I have as my edge would have been done, because we're already done the 1 and 5 minute opening range breakouts, ORBs, and I already took this. I already missed what I would call continuation plays, and this one was actually, like I said, a bit of a reversal that I was able to catch, and I could have successfully ended my day there and just ended it flat. I did keep scanning the charts, and I made a decision that I would allow myself one more trade. As I mentioned earlier, even though I was flat, I thought, okay, I'll take one more trade. And this is where I kind of got into a bit of trouble. I saw Piton, and Piton was called out on Benzinga. There was a downgrade on Piton, and as you can see, there was a pretty solid sell-off at the open, and it continued to sell off. My pointers here on the 15-minute chart, and what I saw here was on the 15-minute chart and the 5-minute chart, I saw this hammer on high volume, and I thought that this could be a really good place for this to bottom out and maybe start at least a strong retracement, if not a reversal. So I watched it. You can see I saw consolidation, and I do have this consolidation breakout in my playbook.